Welcome. My name is Crystal Jackson, and this is the Love Your Body series, how to fall in love with taking care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. And today I have special guest, Mellisa Bottali, and she is the founder of Renaturing. So Mellisa, thank you so much for joining us here today. And I would love for you to dive in and share us a little bit of your story, because I know you've actually healed yourself naturally from a chronic illness.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for having me. This is fun. I love that when we travel or we get to be in all sorts of different places around the world doing this. So I appreciate us being able to have this time. Yeah, renaturing is awesome. It's something that it's a way of living. It's also a way that you can heal anything. But it's something that was developed through my journey of healing a laundry list of different things. One being, like you mentioned, I had an autoimmune disease that doctors told me I was going to have forever. And I'm smiling right now because that wasn't true. I don't have this autoimmune disease anymore. I don't have the chronic digestive issues that I had in the past that were completely taking over my life at one point. And it's pretty amazing to be able to look back at that. I think about a decade ago, I started doing all sorts of internal work. I kind of felt like something was going on with my body. I didn't really know what was happening. And I definitely didn't get tested like head to toe until about 7 years ago. So I didn't even know I had an autoimmune disease for so many years. But I just kept going back and forth to the doctors, different doctors and specialists and nutritionists, and just studying and getting really intricately, I was just investigating all of whatever was available to me at the time. And sure enough, once I got tested, I had this autoimmune thyroid issue, Hashimoto's. And, it was said that I was going to be having this forever. And I sat and I thought, well, how interesting is that I didn't have this when I was a kid. So I have it now, or I had it then. And you're telling me I'm going to have it forever. It just didn't land with me. I was just like, that doesn't make any sense at all. And so after going to so many doctors and specialists and all the things, and I have nothing against different practices, but I just turned around and walked away from that type of Western medicine because it wasn't fulfilling something that my spirit was calling and needing, which was the root cause. They were telling me, take this cream, take this supplement. I had rashes all the time on my body. Take this steroid cream and put it head to toe and just be with it all over. I was the works. Like, take this laxative supplement for your digestive issues. Take this, they were just shredding my intestines at that point.
Wow.
But little did I know, right? Because I was just like, if that'll help me, thank you so much. Didn't help. I just kept getting worse and worse and worse until finally I got really fed up with the pain. And I was in so much pain that I kind of just stopped everything. And I was like, my life isn't worth this pain at all. And so I stopped doing anything that I was doing. I stopped eating. I just kind of drank water and went into nature and listened for a long time. And just, I would come home and then go to bed and then stay in bed for as long as I wanted to and just listen. And what's funny is I was meditating without thinking, I'm going to go meditate from this hour to this hour. I need to meditate. This is how it's going to happen. This is how it's going to look. I wasn't planning. I just was doing. And at the same time, I wasn't doing. I didn't do anything. And that gave me so much insight to our instruments, our bodies. We're able to heal ourselves from the truth, from nature. What we're intended to be as nature is, which nature is in a state of non-resistance. So what that means, think about it, like you go out into the rainforest and nobody's like standing out there with the garden hose watering the trees. Like it's working itself out through the seasons and through the elements and through the resources that it has available to it right now. And so if we're able to use the resources we have available to us right now, we get in sync with something greater, something so great that's natural intelligence, that you can call whatever you want to call it, natural intelligence, spirit, God, creator, your higher self, the everything, the unified field, the all, the it, the is, the everything. It's like when you stop fixing and you allow nature to show you the answers, wow, life. I mean, I can't hardly say that, yes, I feel as though I'm a healer, but I can't hardly say that my clients are receiving the insights from me. They're receiving the answers from nature, from themselves, from them stopping all of the fixing and then receiving the real truth. So powerful. Oh my God. Obviously I could talk about this all day.
Love it. It sounds like you really guide them into going back into nature and stopping and or maybe not stopping, but slowing down so that they can really listen to their intuitiveness and their body, because our body really shows us everything. Like if we have aches and pains, our body's telling us something. Is that true?
Absolutely. I do believe that myself. And what's interesting is, and I've worked with many mentors myself, and what's interesting and what I've found over the last couple of years, even more deeply than ever, is that, initially when I started this path, I knew that the body was trying to give me a message. It's trying to give me something other than you're in pain and you deserve to be punished.
Yeah.
It's not about punishment or like enslavement to your pain. And so what is this pain trying to tell me? This question came up for me on my journey. And over the course of the last 7 years or so on this deep, deep journey, decade probably, I really discovered that every different pain has a different message. And it's for you, and it's typically a gift to show you what your truth is, what your gifts are. And so it's like this amazing way that if you can't figure out your purpose, you don't have to struggle and settle and sacrifice. You just listen to what your pain is trying to tell you, and then you're empowered by that gift versus enslaved by that struggle.
So I got to share something with you, because now things are coming back from my past and maybe not being on my true purpose. My husband and I have owned a gym together for almost 10 years now in San Diego. And as much as I loved it, I would go in and my cup would be filled up because we worked with high level athletes. I was an athlete growing up and in college and pro afterwards. And partly, I've had kids, so I had neck pain. But it was like, the last couple of years, so January is when I stopped working at our gym. And I would say 6 months before that, terrible neck pain. And it was me not speaking my truth. And I still have a little bit here and there, but what my point in my story is, the more I have found of being more aligned to what my true purpose and calling is in life, my pain has been going away. And it's been amazing. But it has taken time, like you're saying, really centering myself, meditating. I want to hear more about the renaturing, how you actually get people out in nature to listen, because I think that's really incredible. Because I'll do anything, whatever it takes, to really make sure that I'm living my most authentic life and on purpose. And I hope everyone else that's listening can hear that, because it is all possible for all of us. Do you believe in that? We're all meant to be here for a reason, right?
And we're all meant to work together.
Love that.
We're really all, your body has 37.2 trillion unique cells. And so if we're sitting around comparing ourselves, like for me to you, or from the person listening to one of us, it's like comparing the cells of your eyeball to your ass. It's a totally different thing. It's like, why would we compare somebody's eyes to their ass? We wouldn't, because it's a totally different body part. And so why would we compare me to you? It's a totally different cell. However, we're working for the same whole. The cells in our body are working for the same whole as our body, right? But we are working for the same whole as this planet. And I wanted to say something too about what you were speaking about your pain, just because it came up for me now, is that pain doesn't fully go away. And I don't mean that if you had neck pain once, it'll never go away. I mean that the ability for your body to deliver a message to you must come through in a source of feeling. And typically we associate that feeling with pain. But what I've learned over renaturing myself so many times and just going and having my own healers and having my own experiences out into nature, doing absolutely nothing but listening, is that the pain, it's kind of like your body speaks pain and you speak English. So it's kind of like if someone has said, ciao ragazza, ci vediamo dopo, and you're like, what the hell? Like, that person's speaking Italian and I have no idea what they're saying. So you kind of have to learn that your body is speaking in a totally different language than you are. And it's called pain. And you get to interpret that language as struggle or a gift. And so if you start to interpret that language as your guidance system, or your as your guide, then you won't struggle in your pain anymore. You'll bump your elbow and you'll think, okay, something's trying to bring me back. You don't just bump your elbow or stub your toe. Like, it's that finite that this fabric, this universal natural intelligence is speaking to us. It's that finite. You don't just cut your hand on your pinky finger and not your thumb. You'll cut it on a specific place that the message is going to come through. And so all these different parts of our body have a different message, and I've worked with all sorts of healers, and the ones that I've worked with very recently are showing me the body is mapped out in the specifics. And so what's amazing is that we can have so much trust and faith in our tool, our body, that we're actually, even if you feel like you're totally out of alignment, likely what I would love to show people, and hopefully we'll tap into that and they can see it throughout this interview, is that you're more in alignment than you think. I even use that as some of my promotion material, because so many people are thinking, I'm out of alignment. Well, but your pain is showing you the exact message that you need. Your body is totally in alignment with what you need, but we're looking at it from a comparison point of view versus a collaboration with this natural intelligence that we all have access to.
So what I hear you saying is that we're all on our journey that we're supposed to be on. We're all in alignment, but then like stubbing a toe, slicing a finger, those are indications that it kind of steers us in a different direction. Is that what I'm hearing correctly? Like, you don't just stub your toe for no reason. That's an awakening that like awakes you or makes you more aware of maybe you're not going on the right path. Okay, maybe you're supposed to turn right instead of turn left. Is that right?
So if you had an inner GPS, and you plugged in, and wherever you are, you're 50 miles away from home, and you plug into your GPS home, and Siri goes, okay, go straight for 5 miles, and you start going straight, and then she's like, turn left at Utah Street, and you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go straight, and then you keep going straight, and she's like, she says that, she goes, rerouting, right? You see that little thing, and it's like, tick, 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 rerouting. So she starts to reroute, and she goes, no problem. She doesn't say no problem, but basically she's like, I rerouted you. Yeah. Now that you didn't turn left, you're going to turn left, and then right.
Got it.
And you're like, fuck it, I'm just going to turn right now. And you just start turning a random direction. It's not that your body's mad at you or like punishing you. It's rerouting you to where it's naturally meant to go. And so it's not that, you know, the illness or the disease or the suffer or the, you know, the pain that you're feeling is against you. It's trying to reroute you. But if we're paying attention to the pain as a suffering or enslavement versus empowerment, we're gonna feel like we're struggling.
Mm-hmm.
But if we realize, oh, I'm being rerouted right now. I'm being rerouted right now. Oh, I'm being rerouted right now. Then you start to have a little bit of faith in something bigger than you, and you stop relying on yourself to have to fix it. And I say have to like that because whenever you're in that mindset of like, I have to do this and I should be doing this and blah, 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 and then all of a sudden you cut your finger out because you're trying to cut the avocado seed out and you're like, oh, whoa, what? So pain comes in different forms, right? You can get a paper cut. You can slice part of your finger, you know, with a knife, or, you know, you can get your finger chopped off. Like there's different variants of the same finger getting that pain, right? There's different variants of you had constipation once, twice, 3 times, 2 years, 3 years, 20 years. Like I've had clients who come there like, I've had constipation my whole life. I don't know what it feels like to be regular at all.
Wow.
And it's not that their body is against them or that their body has to be this particular way. It's that their body's trying so hard. I mean, like, how amazingly compassionate your body is to be like, oh, don't worry, I'll show you again. Not like, I can't believe you haven't gotten the lesson yet, Crystal. I'm done.
But don't you
think your body's not crapping out?
But don't you think when people get in big accidents or like something major happens, that is a big wake up call? That is when the body is like, okay, enough is enough. I've tried giving you slight little like warnings here and there, you know, like that makes sense. Because
yes, it does. It's accumulative, which means every second you ignore the pain, Siri says turn right and you say, fuck it, I'm going left, or you just keep going straight, or you maybe didn't hear her say that. It doesn't matter what the problem is. It matters that you stop yourself and see, whoa, I need to be doing something to shift this energy. And the fact that we all have that power within us to make that change is it's so amazing. Like it's so empowering to be able to think, we can literally change our lives with one decision.
Mm-hmm. It starts with every day we have choices. Every day we wake up. Are you going to choose to wake up and you're excited? Or I love this example. I have a 3 and a 4-year-old. My 4-year-old's about to turn 5 in a week and a half. But my 3-year-old will wake up and he will run into our room and the biggest smile ever. 99 out of 100 times from naps and in the morning. And then my 4-year-old, it's like 50-50. You never know what you're going to get. Like he'll come in really happy. Like this morning he came and like snuck in and like he was super happy. And then sometimes he comes down, he's not very happy, but it's a choice is what I mean. Like we get to choose every single day. How do we want to show up in the world? How do we want to take care of ourselves? How do we want to listen to what the universe is telling us and our body's telling us? It's a choice. If we're not listening.
And it's amazing because we can choose positively, or we can choose love, to act from love, to act from, that higher place, that positive place. And one day you might wake up and you're in pain, and that's totally okay. But it's how you investigate that. It's how you're able to look within and see that that's happening for you. This is working itself through you to give you the abundance that life is really having. Life is offering gifts to you abundantly right now. right now.
Well, I like what you just said. It's happening for you. And I want to repeat it so everyone hears that. It's not happening to you. You didn't get, your finger sliced. That did not happen to you. It happened for you to awaken you, to make you more aware. Like everything happens for a reason. So, yeah.
And it's easy to see that when you get a paper cut, but when you have something like a chronic illness, it's a more, because that's been accumulative and it's grown bigger, it typically shows as a practitioner, when I'm looking at a client or when I'm looking at myself and I see something dramatic happen, I get to see that it's a bigger gift on the other side. That if you get a paper cut, it's like, hey, wake up to your thoughts. Like maybe you were jealous of something and you sliced one of your fingers, or maybe whatever, maybe like a thought came up and you got a paper cut. But when you have a chronic illness or especially something like a digestive issue, which, I mean, everybody poops, right? Like we deal with that every day, hopefully. And when you see this, when you're able to see the light through your darkness, you'll see that the gift that you have is much bigger than you could ever imagine, and it just keeps on giving through your pain. So once you get into alignment, whatever that means, right? Because we're always all experiencing pain. Our body speaks pain. You speak whatever language you speak. And once you start building this relationship with your body, then you're not in a transaction anymore, which is where a lot of people start. If I do this juice cleanse, I'll get this result. If I take this pill, I'll get this result. Or if I take this, then I won't have this anymore. Or if I don't do this, then I'll get that. So it's always a this for that. I do this, I get that. But if we start to build a relationship versus a transaction, and we start to every day show up for ourselves and for our tool and start to learn the language, it's like studying a language. You commit to that language, that pain is trying to give you something. You commit to that language. You live this amazingly miraculous life because you get to be partners with this bag of bones that you've got here.
Now, what do you have, like, what's the first thing you would have a client do? I'm just so curious, this is new to me. Like, what's something that obviously I'm guessing that you go through some sort of assessment of something, but, give us just an idea of what would be the first step of getting them just, back on alignment and back into nature.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great question. After the assessment stuff, it's really about, the first step is really about getting in touch with what is. And what that means is self-identifying. So if you can see whatever your problem is as it is, not worse than it is, and not better than it is. So some people are like, oh, I have chronic constipation, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But it's like horribly taking over their life, and they're like, oh, it's not that bad. They're seeing it better than it is.
And they're
right?
denying it. Or they're denying it, yeah.
Or they're seeing it worse than it is, and they're like, every day, and they're like trembling, and they're like, they can't find themselves out of, that struggle. We have to the first thing that we do is bring them back to the moment and just look at it as it is, without any emotion at all, just what is happening right now. And that typically is the first real stretch of a step, because oftentimes you're thinking about your past, you're thinking about what this is going to mean for the future, you're thinking about your kids, you're thinking about your family, you're thinking about what somebody was doing earlier today that distracted you, you're thinking about this, you think whatever. And when we start, the first step is self-identify, and that's in renaturing. Renaturing has 4 steps, and the 4 steps are self-identify, eliminate, eat, and energy. And what's amazing about those 4 steps is they don't go steps 1 to 4, you're done. Steps 1 to 4 to enlightenment, you know, it's like, it goes like this. It goes around in a circle. And so as you look at this cycle, all of those words are metaphors. So eliminate doesn't necessarily mean go to the bathroom. It means, how are you expressing yourself? Are you fully, authentically opening yourself up to the moment and giving this moment every ounce of expression that you are for the sake of expressing what's in you right now? Not for the sake of what people are going to get on this interview, not for the sake of, oops, should I have said fuck or should I have not said that? Oops, blah, blah, blah. Like, not this questioning weird thing going on in your head, but the actual you, the thing that's coming through you that wants to be delivered. And so when we get in touch with that form of elimination, which is your art, right? The way you do it. So it's not what you do, eat, drink, wear, express, and think about. It's the way you do it. And that is your art. And only you have your art. You are a unique expression of the all, right? You are that one unique cell that is in combination, we create this planet. But that uniqueness is you. There's only one and only Crystal Jackson. There's only one and only you.
Yay.
And so the way you express yourself is so important. So that's step 2. So once we identify what the thing is, we start to eliminate. And number 2, eliminate is like the second step, eliminate, is in all forms. Like I said, it's everything you do, eat, drink, wear, express, think about, and create on a day-to-day basis. So we focus our attention on the moment so much that the other stuff starts to become more clear. And this is why meditation doesn't go out of style, right? Renaturing is like ceremonial meditation practices that help you get in sync with nature. Well, to get in sync with nature, we got to get in sync with yourself. You are nature. And so when you start to bring all of your energy into one point, meditation doesn't go out of style, because if you focus your attention on one point, one thing, for a long period of time, a long enough period of time, your consciousness expands, and then the answer just comes to you. It's kind of like in that form of relaxation, right? Like when you're in the shower and the best idea ever just came to you and you have to jump out of the shower and write it down and then get back in the shower because you're like, whoa, oh my God. Because as you relaxed and you focused your attention on one thing for a long enough period of time, boom, the answer just is given to you. So these meditation practices of renaturing aren't just limited to one type of meditation, but bringing that conscious awareness to everything you do. Eat, drink, wear, express, and think about and create in your life. So yeah, and I can go deeper into the other 2 steps if you'd like.
Yeah, I just have one question about your the meditation.
Totally.
You know, what do you suggest starting off for someone? Like, let's say my amazing husband that you got to see at the beginning, he actually just started meditating, which I'm so excited. I've been meditating for a couple of years now, super passionate about it, into it. Like, you know, if I feel like emotional, I'll just be like, okay, let me like just calm myself down, ground myself. But what would you suggest to someone who's brand new? And then what would you suggest to someone who's a little bit more evolved, you know? So, I mean, I'm guessing there's like different levels to the meditation and how long.
Yeah, I think what's amazing is that for someone who's just getting started or someone who's evolved, whatever that means, right?
Yeah.
Is if you are able, so just getting started meditating or at a place where you feel that you've been meditating for many years, this particular way of meditating is so powerful. And that is sit in a comfortable position out in nature. And if you're not in nature, it doesn't matter. Close your eyes and do nothing. And every time you have a thought come up, don't do anything about it. And so if you allow yourself to start watching your thoughts like you're watching a movie screen, in the beginning, when you haven't done this, you're going to watch this like ping pong match. You're going to be like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. And like, all of a sudden you're going to be like, there's so many thoughts. And then you're going to realize that you're like, am I doing this right? And there's so many thoughts. What's happening? Why should I be watching my thoughts right now? All these things, and all these things are going to start coming up in your head. And that's totally okay. If you can sit alone with yourself and close your eyes and allow yourself to trust whatever comes through for an hour, the world will start to shift. Because if you're able to see that you are the creator of your reality, and you'll start to see that what those thoughts are that are coming up are the ones that you typically shove away or wait till after work to listen to, or wait till after you're done, somebody's saying something, just like you start pushing them away on a day-to-day basis. But in that moment, in that hour, you start to look at them, you'll start to realize that you get to receive the abundance of life in any second that you choose it. And when you start to look at your thoughts